Welcome to today's talk. We're going to talk about money and how to manage it properly. My name is Regina DeMeo, and I'm a family law attorney in Maryland and DC. And with me today, I have Judy Heft, who is a certified money coach that's been in practice for over 25 years. Thanks so much for being here, Judy.
Oh, thank you, Regina. I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Well, I think, money's been on everyone's mind during COVID. We've slashed as many expenses as we can, and now we're heading towards the end of the year, right? And have to submit all of our stuff to our financial people. So I thought this was a perfect time for you to chime in with some good advice.
Well, thank you.
So my first question is, what inspired you to write your book? You wrote a book about how to be successful, smart, and organized with your money.
Yeah, so here it is, how to be smart, successful, and organized with your money for better today and tomorrow. Well, you know what? That's a good question. I've been blogging for quite a while. Well, for now, I've been blogging about 8 years. And I think right before that, I've been blogging for a few years. And I decided, you know what? This is my coach actually challenged me to write a book. And I thought, you know what? I have all the blogs written. Let me figure it out and figure out which ones would be good for a book that I can really help a lot of people, because that's what I love to do, is help people. And that's how it came to fruition, and it's been really great.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And how can people get a copy of that?
Well, they can find it on Amazon. It's under Judith Heft, or How to Be Smart, Successful, and Organized with Your Money. It's right there. It's in paperback. It's an easy book. It's a short book. It's easy to read, and I think it's pretty informational.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, what are the most common money mistakes that you see with your clients?
Oh boy, you know what? There's a lot. I think one of the biggest mistakes is people don't reconcile their checking or credit card accounts. They think, well, they look and see what their balance is, they check it out, and they think that's enough. But you know what? It's not. Banks make so many mistakes. We have found a lot of errors when we've been reconciling. And they might charge you for something twice that you're not paying attention to, or they charge you the wrong amount. So that's one of the big things that we see a lot. People think they don't need to reconcile. And another thing is cable bills. I mean, cable bills change all the time. After, they offer you that promotional deal to come in, and they give you everything for free and half price and all that. And then a year later, you're not paying attention. And the next thing you know, your bill goes back up to where it was before that. So you really need to be on top of that. You really need to go in there and negotiate yearly. As soon as you see that, put it in your calendar as a tickler file so you know to do it. But even if you don't do that, as soon as you see that bill that's much higher than the one before, pay attention to it and go in there and negotiate it. And that's, one of the things that we do for our clients too. Scams. There's so many scams out there. They look so legitimate. I mean, not the ones, give me your credit card information and I'll give you $1 million. We all know those are fakes. But there's lots of other things that are a little bit more specific and they look real. I had a thing one time where somebody hacked into a client's account, and I was having a conversation with who I thought was the client, and it wasn't. And I was on my phone, and they wanted me to wire $300,000 to a bank for an art purchase. And the client had purchased art in the past, so it seemed kind of legit. But luckily, I didn't do it. We figured it out in time. After I looked carefully through the emails, and I had been on my phone because I was out of the office, I realized that there were typos in there and there were mistakes, and it just was not legit. So you need to be really careful about that.
Right.
I think another mistake we see, this one we see a lot, passwords. On everybody wants to use those easy passwords that we remember, your date of birth, your name, your kid's name, whatever that might be, especially when we need passwords for everything. And each one is different. One's 6 letters, one's the 8 letters and digits. You need this symbol, you need that symbol. So sometimes it's just easier to just type in one that you remember, which is either, your birth date or whatever. Well, that's a big mistake. So what we use here in our office, and we recommend to all our clients, is LastPass. It's a password protector. And all you have to do is remember one password, and that can be anything. And they do ask you to change it every 3 to 6 months too. But you go in there and they'll generate and fill very complicated passwords that nobody in their right mind could ever know. So that's really a good thing to do. And it's really easy, and you can have it on your phone, you can have it on your iPad, you can have it on your work computer, your laptop at home, and you've got it all in there. And then when you want to go to a particular website, your bank, for instance, or whatever that might be, you just sign into LastPass, and you can just, click on that link and it takes you right there with your information. And you know what? One thing that's really easy about it too with LastPass, I use it for face recognition on my phone. So there's one place I don't need and have to remember that. I mean, so those are some of the things, some
Those
of
are
the
great
mistakes
tips.
that we see. Just not paying attention, I think, is the biggest thing.
Well, it's easy to get sloppy.
Yeah, it is. We're
Yeah.
so busy.
And for a lot of people, I think emotionally, it's just like the last thing you really want to deal with, right? Like I don't know. For me, it's like it's the last thing I want to deal with, and so I just put it off to the side.
Exactly. And I'll do it tomorrow or tomorrow.
Which brings me to my next question. You have a service. What is it to be a financial concierge?
So what I mean by financial concierge is we handle all the bookkeeping and bill pay for our clients. Our clients are mostly individuals, highly successful individuals, and we approach running a household like running a small business. And you really have to pay attention to your inflows and your outflows. You really need to categorize all that and take a look at, because that's like the first thing I said about the not reconciling. You know, so many people, when we get involved with them, when we get into their accounts, we see that they have so many charges that are just constantly recurring. Like they might have charged something. Oh, here's a good one. So, there's makeup things and you think you're buying something, moisturizer that so-and-so used, the movie star, and it's $5 and you can never see the tiny little fine print that says, yes, charge me that every month. But it's $80 the following month. It's not the $5 sample thing that you got. And so people have a lot of those recurring charges, gym memberships. Everybody stopped going to the gym for a few months, during COVID, and the gyms, if you didn't cancel, they still continued to pay you. You had to be proactive on that. I've had clients come to me with old AOL charges when, I mean, AOL's been free for so long, and then these people have these recurring AOL charges for $25 that they completely forgot about. So, that's some of the things that we do. So we like to help our clients stay on top of everything, run nice reports for them, help them with financial planning so that they know exactly what their expenses are going to be. If they're contemplating a divorce, we can help them come up with those numbers for their statement of net worth, financial affidavit. So many people, we're in a world where we swipe our credit cards all day long and we don't really pay attention to our finances unless we're documenting them. So that's where we come in. We work closely with the other financial professionals. We work closely with our clients' CPAs at tax time, especially their other attorneys, whatever they need. So that's what we're there to do. And we just recently did a little rebranding since I spoke to you last. It's only been about a week old, lifestyle concierge services, because we've been getting a lot of calls for those types of things too. Hiring tutors, vetting drivers, travel arrangements, moving in and moving out services, creating home office that's easy to work in, office organization, whatever else anybody needs. So that's another little thing that we're adding now.
Wow. And you do money coaching, right?
And I do money coaching. So about 4 years ago, I got certified as a money coach. And what that means is, how we do it is we go back to our earliest memories of money from our parents or another adult that was in our life, and how did we interact with them, and what are those habits that we have, and learning that there's different archetypes. There's the gambler, there's the fool, there's the creative type, the innocent, the martyr, and learning how to create a new mindset around money and create new habits and become more empowered. So that's what money coaching is. It's really getting into a new mindset.
So is it a set number of sessions that people do?
It is. It's 4 60 to 90-minute sessions. I've done some group coaching, which has been really great, and I will do one-on-one coaching too. So it really depends on how many people are in the group. And it's all confidential and no judgment. It's a no judgment zone.
So what in light of COVID, what money management tips would you have for people during this difficult time?
So I think the most important thing is, if people are struggling financially, you can negotiate. You can negotiate with your rent, with your landlord. If you have a mortgage that you can't pay, don't just ignore it. Don't not pay it. If you have a car lease or car payment that you want to pay, negotiate. Be transparent. Talk to your vendors and see what kind of a plan and an agreement you can come up with. I think in the beginning of COVID, some of the landlords were um, putting the rent payments to a later date so that you have like a little grace period, personal and business. So that's one of the things you can do. I think going paperless is really important because you just want to touch less. The mail's coming in the house, try to touch less. You can go online and see your statements. You can reconcile your bank statement that way. Get a good shredder if you don't already have one. Those are some of the things that are important to do. I like dealing with a small community bank because you have a banker there one-on-one. When the banks were closed and there was still a teller working inside, I was able to call up if I needed something and they would, accommodate me. So it's good to know a personal banker. That's one of the things that I think has come out of this. And then the last thing is because people aren't using cash as much, think about using Venmo or Zelle. We do Zelle for a lot of people who have grandchildren or kids in college that they want to send money to, and Zelle and Venmo are a good way to do that. PayPal too. PayPal's great because then when you're shopping, because let's face it, we've all been doing a lot of online shopping these last few months. It's a good idea to just use PayPal, and that way you're not giving your credit card information out to all kinds of different places. So those are some of the things I think are important to remember.
That's smart. So if people wanted to contact you for further information, what's the best way to do that?
So my website is judithheft.com, and I'm always reachable there. They can email me at info@judithheft.com, or if they prefer, they can pick up the phone and call the office. It's 203-978-1858.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this today.
Thank you, Regina. I really enjoyed it. It's always good to talk to you.
Well, stay safe.
Okay, thanks. You too.
And thank you all for tuning in.